Mixed Rock presents 7 Badass Warriors from Ancient Times. Number 1. Though probably only 3 people reading this will be able to pronounce Cthulhu without injuring themselves, his feats in battle only require you to understand the concept of unbridled fury. Hailing from the equally unpronounceable Tlaxcala tribe, Cthulhu was a warrior of legendary stature. We mean that literally. The guy was so huge it's rumored that other, lesser men couldn't even lift the weapons he used in battle. Though it's not clear how it happened, Cthulhu somehow ended up living with an Aztec tribe and realized that he could no longer go home since he fraternized with the enemy. He asked the Aztec king for a warrior's death, which he got, and then some. Cthulhu was ordered to stand on a giant stone platform while 8 of the Aztecs' finest eagle warriors attempted to kill him. Cthulhu effortlessly slaughtered them all and injured an additional 20 men before he was killed. His heart was immediately cut from his body, where, according to legend that we just made up, it exploded like a grenade. Number 2. Melanchthonus of Caria was an ancient boxer hailing from an area now commonly known as Turkey. Though it's not known if he ever held a sword, what we do know is that he was never once touched by an opponent. An impressive feat for a guy whose job is literally being punched in the face. Melanchthonus, using a technique commonly known as being a cocky douche, was the king of slipping punches. His entire tactic revolved around deftly avoiding the blows of his competitors while maintaining an iron defense. In his entire undefeated career as a champion Olympic boxer, Melanchthonus never threw a punch, seemingly because he didn't need to, since no one could touch him anyway. Number 3. Miyamoto Musashi is without a doubt the finest swordsman to have ever lived. Ever. What Melanchthonus did with fists, Musashi did with swords. Throughout his life, he was never once defeated in combat. It got to the point where Miyamoto was so good at giving people katana enemas that he just up and stopped using swords altogether. Though he didn't stop sword fighting. For the rest of his life, Musashi accepted and roundly defeated all challengers using a simple wooden sword. Basically, he was like Ryu from Ninja Garden when controlled by someone really awesome. Musashi split open more heads than 1,000 B-movie gore-fests, and he did it all while being a traveling warrior poet. That's just straight up pimping. Number 4. William Marshall, aka the Earl of Pembroke, is remembered by history as one of the greatest knights to have ever lived. Now, a knight is supposed to exemplify many qualities, but the most important one, by far, was the ability to murder-kill an enemy knight and steal his stuff. This is something William did, over and over and over and over again. On his deathbed, the Earl noted to those nearby that he bested at least 500 other knights in one-on-one combat. Now, you're probably thinking that surely he could have lied about that, which is a good point, but do remember that this was back in a time when people thought lying made your penis fall off, so it's probably safe to assume he wasn't. Besides, questioning his power is likely to earn you a mighty slap to the mouth when you become a ghost. So don't bother. Number 5. Aristodemus was one of the guys from the movie 300. In the film, he was renamed Dilios and was the guy who lost his eye and went back to heroically rally the rest of the Spartan army. In reality, he was shunned for refusing to die in battle like a man when he lost his eye due to a crippling infection. So the film got it half right. However, being disgraced lit a fire in Aristodemus' belly that could only be quenched with the lung and brain matter of his enemies. In the Battle of Plataea, Aristodemus became a veritable whirlwind of death when he embarked on a berserker-like suicide charge so ferociously badass that the stubborn Spartans decided to posthumously forgive him and gave him a proper burial. Not bad for a guy with one eye and nothing to lose. Number 6. Galvarino, in a nutshell, was a Chilean version of Wolverine. If Wolverine was fueled by nothing but an intense hatred for anyone who didn't have a gut full of knife wounds and who strapped swords to the stumps where his hands used to be. Oh yeah, Galvarino totally did that. Maybe. You see, when he was captured by Spaniards, they ordered his hands cut off so he could be an example to his people. After Galvarino endured the torture without a word, he was sent back to his people. this is where history gets fuzzy. It's rumoured that he then strapped knives to the stumps and started knife-punching fools in the throat like there was no tomorrow. However, despite this being approximately the most awesome thing in the history of humankind, the fact is incredibly hard to find in any official document related to his story. Still though, this was a guy who manned through having both of his hands chopped off, and when asked what he wanted to do about it, answered, "Tear them apart with my teeth." Knife hands or not, that's still one of the greatest lines ever uttered. Number 7. Don't let the story of Tlajulacol convince you that the Aztecs were nothing to be sniffed at. If anyone can sum up the indomitable Aztec spirit, it's Cuauhtémoc, their last emperor. Cuauhtémoc was elected as emperor, while the city of Tenochtitlan, was anything back then pronounceable, was being ransacked by Hernan Cortez. Just being in the city when that was happening took huge balls. Upon assuming control of the people, Cuauhtémoc promptly decided to make Cortez's life as difficult as possible by turning his city into Aztec Stalingrad. Even after his city was raked by starvation, he tried to flee to the countryside to get more soldiers. Even after being captured and tortured, Cuauhtémoc refused to tell Cortez or his men anything. Because when you're the last representative of a great race of warrior people, you can't flinch or cry on principle. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please hit subscribe.